This podcast may contain adult language, adult situations, spoilers, and some brief nudity, so parental guidance is suggested.
We have such sights to show you.
After about 5 minutes of this movie, you're gonna wish you had 10 beers.
Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
So, what would you little maniacs like to do first?
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Oh, well. La-di-da, la-di-da, la-la, yeah.
Welcome back to the Cinema Recall Podcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Cinema Recall Podcast. I am the Vern. Thank you very much for joining us. If you are a Patreon member, again, patreon.com/Cinema Recall Pod, you are getting this episode early in advance. My guest today is the wonderful, the beautiful, the talented Jaylan Salah from J Days over on YouTube, as well as being a contributor over at Women in Session. Welcome, Jaylan.
Hey, Jason the Vern. So happy to be here.
Oh, well, I'm glad you're back. Now, you recognize Jaylan because she was also on our Reservoir Dogs audio drama, doing the wonderful voice of Mr. Orange on that series, and I am planning a new audio drama project for next year, and I'm hoping she'll be on that one as well, because I'm having a big cast for this one. So I won't say what it is just yet. I'll talk with her more about this after the mic. But how have you been?
I'm great. However, if I'm not on that audio drama, you better watch out, Vern.
Oh,
I'm coming for you.
I will be sure let you on there, because I'm a little bit afraid of you too. Because I mean, come on now, you were part of a heist team that hunted people down. All right, you're dangerous.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
But
Fear the Reaper.
We are here to talk about the movie Starlet, the new feature. Well, I wouldn't say new feature, but it's a feature from Sean Baker that I never really knew before. And we're going to get into that. But before we do talk about Starlet, and this is something I asked all my guests when they come on the show, what is your history with Sean Baker?
I love Sean Baker. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of feminist readings that kind of like say mean things about him or just disregard him or dislike him. I personally prefer Sean Baker's cinema. There are people who say that his cinema exploits poverty, exploits, like the lower class. I don't see it that way. I feel like he actually talks about, hardships socially and economically in people's lives from a very, very humane lens. I feel like he really has sympathy for his characters. I love that his films are character driven. I love his stylistic direction of those films. So I'm a big Sean Baker fan because I have great friends, even on Women in Session podcast, who hate him with a vengeance. I don't. I love him.
I have a lot of friends who hate his work, but also they've only seen like one movie of his. And then I have other friends who like some of his movies, but not his other ones. I've got one friend, and he loved Takeout, and he loved the Florida Project, but he hated Honora just with a passion. And I know other friends that are like that too. And I know that a lot of people think that his movies are mainly quote unquote the whole poverty porn thing, and how they just basically want to like exploit that type of people. But I never really saw it that way. Some people think that he pays too much attention to people in the sex work industry. And
so what is the problem, really?
And I think that those type of elements, I think, should be discussed more. And what I like best about his movies that deal with people in the sex industry or the sex work industry is that that's what it is. It's just work. All right, it's not glamorized in any type of way. Yeah, I really kind of enjoy that part of his features. Like he doesn't like overly glamorize that type of lifestyle. It just kind of shows it as it is. And case in point, with our movie that we're going to be discussing, Starlet, starring Dree Hemingway. Not relation to me. My last name is Hemin, but I'm not Hemingway. Dree Hemingway. Ooh. And what have I on this here? Dree Hemingway and best I had to write this down. Besedka Johnson,
Yeah,
and then
Besedka.
also we have Stella Mavi, James Ransom, and we also have appearances from other stars that I will get into later on in this feature. Let's do this right now. Let's just play a trailer of the movie Starlet so that people can understand what this movie is about, and then I will get your reactions to the movie, all right?
Hey.
Hey, how much is this one?
No refunds.
Thank you. Say you found like a lot of money, and you're pretty sure you know whose it is, and you're pretty sure that he or she has no idea that they ever had it. What would you do? Hey, do you remember me? I bought the thermos from you? What's wrong?
My cab's gone.
Well, I can give you a ride.
No,
Not a problem.
I'll call another.
I won't take no for an answer. So what do you do?
What do you mean, what do I do?
I don't know, for like fun. Hi.
What are you doing here?
Bingo.
Get off my place. Don't play with my board.
Okay, open your eyes. Huh? Looks like a legit strip club in here, doesn't it?
The pleasure to meet Jane's grandmother.
She's not my grandmother. So were you ever married?
Yeah.
Do you have children?
So what's up with the old lady?
Somebody I'm helping out?
Helping with what?
She's not your friend. You're okay, right?
I can't believe you thought I would leave you.
The best part is right here. Boom!
I've got bingo.
Woo! Bingo! Bingo!
You are one tough cookie to read.
That's it. Stop. That's it. Did you back up a little tiny bit? That's too much.
All right, so that was a trailer for the movie Starlet, directed by Sean Baker, and even written by, I just had it here, Chris, oh my gosh, I can't pronounce this last name here, Chris Berkowitz, all right? I apologize if I messed up the name on that one, but Chris Berkowitz, and it is the story of Jane, and she finds this thermos at a yard sale owned by this older lady named Sadie, and they form a friendship of sorts. But there's something in the thermos. Jane finds like over like 10 grand in the thermos. Now, I gotta talk some more about this movie with you, Jaylan. Just give me your general thoughts about this movie. Did you see this movie before Florida Project or Tangerine? Because for me, Tangerine was like the very first Sean Baker movie I even know about. These older movies, I did not even know that he had other movies besides Tangerine, Florida Project, Red Rocket, and then Anora. Then I found out about these older films that he made. So give me your general thoughts about Starlet.
Okay, so first Sean Baker movie I watched was Florida Project. Okay, it blew me away. I love movies where you have good child actors. I love movies that are about children and their innocence, and children even fighting poverty through games and through, trying to find, beauty in life even with limited resources. So I whenever I see a film that I like, I just want to see the entire filmography of the filmmaker. So I started, like Tangerine, and then Starlet, and then Red Rocket. And I fell in love with Starlet like you have no. I was obsessed with this film. I think I saw it first time the year before last, not last year, the year before last. I was totally blown away. I was obsessed with it because I love the intergenerational thing. I love it when women from different generations connect and are not competitive and are not bitchy, are not catty. They have something between them. I love the idea of being kinder to the elderly. I find it a concept that is not usually shown in film and TV. And coming from a beautiful, beautiful girl like Jane here, played by the stunning Dree Hemingway, it's even more refreshing because this is a very beautiful girl and she's not obsessed with boys. She's not obsessed with having a man or her relationship. She's actually obsessed with this woman and she wants to connect with her. And we don't really know the reason. Like, we might know the reason for Sadie at the end and why she was reluctant at first and why she was kind of hostile and stuff like that. But for Jane, we don't really know why she likes this lady so much, why she finds comfort in her, why she wants to connect with her. And this makes it more beautiful because I feel like life is more random than having a reason for every kind encounter that you have with people. Also, it's a very kind, empathetic film. What's not to love?
I agree with your thoughts on that too. What I think is best about this movie, and even from watching the trailers of this, is that it never really shows you what Jane does for a living. Like, if you never saw the trailers of this movie, like, I never saw the trailers of this movie, I just watched it blind. And all I saw was just a woman. She's lives in a house with her friend and her boy. I thought it was a girl that lives in a house with her friend and her boyfriend. And I had no idea that she worked as an adult film actress until it's almost like an hour into the movie when you do find out what she does for a living. Because it's a story about this girl who buys this thermos and it's got 10 grand in there, and she starts up this friendship with her. And part of me is thinking, why did you not just tell her, like, hey, I bought your thermos, but by the way, did you know that you have 10 grand in here? So in my mind, I'm thinking, why would you not just tell her? And if she doesn't say anything, keep the money. But it's like this guilt is on her for having this money to use, and I just, that part of the movie I didn't quite understand why she never told her.
Because she's struggling too financially. Maybe if she had better means, she would have told her right away. And people are complicated. I don't know. Like, for me, this part, okay, it might seem complicated because I saw some interviews and Q&As with the cast, and they were asking Dree about these questions, like, what would you say to defend Jane because Jane, like, did this and she kind of like took the money and didn't tell her right away. I don't know. I feel like because I'm a complicated person myself, so I kind of give space for a complicated movie character and kind of like accept them on their own terms if the writing is good and if the filmmaking is good. And in this movie, it was very good for me. Like, for me, I saw it as like she wanted to keep the money for herself. She was kind of selfish. She wasn't that do-gooder from the beginning. She wanted to aspire and go make her dreams and stuff like that. But she also felt bad because what if this old lady could have done something more with the money? So she had kind of like this moral conflict, but it wasn't shown as an actual sophisticated moral conflict. This is how I saw it.
Okay. I didn't see that too. And I also thought that maybe this was for Jane to maybe have a mother figure. Maybe she didn't have that mother figure in her life, and she saw the chance with this kindly older woman. But I just want to say I thought it was really kind of brilliant on the part of Sean Baker and writer again Chris Burduch to basically not have the showing of her life as an adult film star until later on. And when I looked this movie up on IMDb, it says it's an erotic drama, which is
Ew.
not true at all.
Ew, ew, ew. What a description.
This is not an erotic movie at all. And when they actually do show scenes of her shooting a movie, it's never done in any type of like sexy way. Like, it shows shots of sex, but it's all very like mechanical.
Very.
It's very much like by the numbers. There's like people around them all the time, and that happens a lot on adult sex. like I'll tell you one quick story. I have been to an adult convention because I
What?
used to work for.
Wow.
Yeah,
Tell me more.
I went to my. So I worked with my dad's company. He's a video distributor. He distributes movies to like Musicland and Target, and he has a bunch of different video lines. He has like Funimation, who did the Dragon Ball Z videos, Gold Hill, which did the Billy Blaine's Boston videos,
Wow.
and one of the vendors he had was Vivid.
Ooh.
But he distributed the softcore titles,
Not the hardcore
to
ones.
music.
Thing.
Well, yeah, Vivid has like softcore lines
Yeah.
where it's just women disrobing that
Yeah.
they can sell at Musicland and Sam Goody and Suncoast at the time, and so he worked for that division. So when I went to the VSDA convention in Las Vegas, the vice president of the company, which is known as Trianta Entertainment, he says, "Hey, can you help get me autographs from these adult film stars?"
Wow.
So my job was to go into these convention center, find these starlets, and get autographs for one of my bosses.
So how were they?
And okay, so this happened right when I was like turning like 22, and a lot of them are really sweet. They are really generous with their fans. Like they love their fans completely, and they have no what do you call it here, like inhibitions about talking to people and everything. And I really remember talking to one girl. She had her first like lesbian experience on camera with a girl, like her first time with a girl on camera, and I talked with her about that. And then all of a sudden, we started talking about the upcoming election. This time, it was like with Bob Dole and Bill Clinton. And so I was talking with her, and then all of a sudden, there's like this guy in a Spider-Man suit walking by.
Wow.
And so I'm talking with this adult film star and a guy Spider-Man, talking about upcoming elections and about what they have planned for the next year. And we started talking randomly about random horror movies that we saw. So we never really talked much about the sets. It was just about other different topics because that's what they do for a living. So it's really
just
kind
a
of
job
boring if
for
I asked
them.
him about.
Exactly.
Yeah, it'd be kind of boring if I asked him about, like, can you tell me about the guys you had and, what's it like on camera? Has there ever been any embarrassing situations? So, like, no, it's just casual conversations, joked around, and then I met a few other starlets, and they were all very sweet. Can't remember their names right now, but Shyla Fox was the girl that I was talking to about the upcoming elections and her first girl-on-girl camera experience. So yeah.
Wow.
That was fun. Yeah, it was.
That's just so
very
cool.
Sweet. So with the so when seeing Jane, and I had no idea that she was an adult star, and then you find out later on that she is. It didn't really change anything
No.
about her. It was just a normal day at work, and the scene she shoots a scene. The guy she shoots a scene with is a real adult star, Manuel Ferra, and they use like shots, and I wonder if they use like the same type of thing that the movie Nymphomaniac used, where it was like a body double superimposed with Dree Hemingway face, or maybe they shot it like unsimulated sets. I don't know for sure.
You never know exactly. But with Sean Baker is kind of pervy. I don't know how far they've gone, and I like him. I like him a lot, but I think he kind of like has many perverted interests.
Exactly.
Let's see if they. Hey, are you searching if they used a body double or if it was Dree?
Yeah. But either way, there, it doesn't really matter for sure because that's not the point of the movie.
No.
Is her sets work? It's basically trying to show people that people who do work in this industry lead very regular lives. All right, they are probably the most like normal people on the street that you see, and I know a lot of people get this idea in their head that the way adult stars behave on camera is the way that they behave in real life, and that's not the case at all. I mean, they're just selling a fantasy. and that's all it
Exactly,
is.
exactly. This is like people who believe that movie stars who play, like these romantic, lovely leads, and even when they're doing it on publicity campaigns and stuff, they are these amazing, like lovely people in real life. How do you guys know? The people that perform even in public appearances and on interviews. So I
Yeah,
don't know. It's make believe. They sell us make believe, and we love them for that. But in this case in particular with Jane, I particularly love that she was an adult film star because you could tell this actually tells you a lot about her. Like, why would you judge? Like, what if you see a porn or, like an adult film and you start judging, like, wow, because maybe you have concerns about the industry, maybe you have reservations about it, but why judge? You know what I mean? Like, say what you say about the industry, but don't judge people. Don't judge people because you don't know anything about people. They could be great people, 1,000 times better than you in real life. So this is what I felt like. The fact that they made her, she had this beautiful dog, which again, I love the dog so much. Starlet, I wanted to own that dog, and she's really kind and she's really giving and she's a gal's gal. She can always stand up for herself and for other people. So what a wonderful character. Why should I care that she's working as an adult film star? I shouldn't, because
yeah.
she's a very good person, a very good young girl.
Well, and I thought it was great for Sean Baker to actually show the aspect of her later on, let you get to know her character first of all, and then when the element comes up, you're like, oh, she's an adult star. Well, okay, well that doesn't really change anything how I felt about her. Um,
Exactly.
I have a quick clip that I want to play uh, from Sean Baker from his interview about Starlet talking about that. It's only like a quick minute, but I want to just play this really quickly.
Yeah, Sean, I will say that Starlet is one of my favorite films for this year.
Oh,
it's
well, thank you.
incredibly beautiful.
Thank you.
And what I love is that it's incredibly rich in humanity, and all the characters, they're flawed and they're tragic, but you still empathize with them. Do you think the mainstream can handle something so emotional and deep and at parts disturbing?
I would think the mainstream can handle these. I would say, yeah, I would see no problem with them handling that part of it, the emotion and the character development. If anything, it's just, it has that hardcore scene in it, so that makes it difficult for the mainstream. But I would think in terms of the actual, the A story, the relationship and everything like that, my hope is that it hits with the mainstream because, well, I want people to connect with the film and identify with the characters and become connected with Jane and Sadie and invested in their relationship. So, yeah, I don't see why not. I mean, the mainstream is getting plenty of that in great films these days, and also wonderful, cable 1 hour dramas, and so, yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so I just wanted to just play just a little part of that little interview. And I feel like a lot of the mainstream, quote unquote, mainstream feels a little bit uneasy when you talk about anything to do with like sex or especially like adult films and everything. Because people have this idea in their heads that all adult stars are just like damaged people who were abused or they're doing this for drugs or now I feel like you can kind of say that about the Melissa character because I like the fact that you got two girls in this, and one girl Jane's being very sweet and understanding, and then you got Melissa who's like this big mess, and no one wants to work with her because she's just a downright mess of a woman. Uh, I almost and tell me if I'm wrong about this, Jaylan, but I feel like Melissa and the girl from the Florida Project could almost be in the same realm. Like this is that character before she had a kid.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It makes total sense. Yeah.
Oh.
Total sense.
And then through being a mother, she learns to be a better person. She's a very caring person in that one. But Melissa just seems to be this very entitled person who believes everything should be delivered to her. And there is a great sequence when Melissa and Jane are getting into a fight, and Melissa's like, "You're supposed to spend the money on me, your friends, your real friends. Why spend the money on this girl? All right, she's not your friend." And I'm like, Melissa, you're not a friend either. All right,
No, you're not her friend.
you're basically using her.
Exactly. You're not a good friend
Sadie,
too.
well, Sadie never uses Jane. In fact, Sadie doesn't want anything to do with Jane at first because when Jane asked her about the thermos, she's like, "Wait, just no, get away from my house. I don't want you here." Uh, and the way that Jane buys off her cab ride so that she can take Sadie home, and things are. I know Sadie feels like a little bit like, "What is going on with this girl? Why is she becoming friends with me all of a sudden?" Um, and then my favorite part is when Sadie maces her in the car because she thinks that she's some sort of psychopath that's trying to swindle in her money. Yeah. The way the relationship does build is very good in this.
Sadie is this kind of character. I can, at least from what I can tell, she's been through a lot of trauma. And her idea of protecting herself from the trauma, because we discover at the end that she lost her daughter, she is isolating herself by not having emotions. She will protect herself. She lost her husband whom she loved, the gambler. I'm sure she must have lived a wild life with that man. And she lost her daughter. So she protects herself in this house where, like trees and shrubs and, like grass is overgrown, and she's kind of hostile. She has like a routine. She goes grocery shopping and she goes to play bingo. That's what she does in her life because she's protecting herself from feeling, from having emotions, from connecting with people. So when Jane comes into her life with Starlet, the dog, because animals, believe it or not, they change things inside us. And when we interact with animals, it changes something inside us. It opens us up to life. Same goes with children. She kind of feels, and in the beginning, she doesn't want anything to do with anybody. She just wants to be left alone until she dies. You know what I mean? She probably
Yeah.
doesn't think she still has a lot to do in life. There's not a lot that life can offer her. She probably thought her life ended at that. But life offers her a second chance through this young girl who loves her, cares for her, wants to share moments with her, wants to find comfort in her, wants to make her happy. This is why I feel like this movie is a very kind movie. It promotes kindness. It actually tells you that there is goodness in life and that not everything has a price and that people from different backgrounds, different, like cultures or whatever can connect and can love each other without wanting anything from one another.
That's fair. Yeah, there's a really good analogy of that because Jane is doing these nice things for her, like driving her places, not really asking for anything. But then part of me is thinking that is she just doing this because she also feels kind of guilty for having this lady's money
Maybe.
that doesn't even know about. But here's the thing too. I have a feeling that when uh, Sadie was selling stuff at the yard sale because I guess she's being sued from I don't exactly know what's going on there, but her Sadie herself is being sued by government officials because her yard is not making up to code and she's all these fines. And she says in the restaurant to Jane, like, my husband's a gambler and he's a good one. I've got more money that I really need to know what to do with here. So I have a feeling that Sadie put that money in that thermos to
Exactly.
like get rid of it for tax reasons, tax evasion reasons. I'm not quite sure, but I think she knows that she put the money in there because it's all wrapped up, and I'm pretty sure she had to at least felt something in there. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. And I think the reveal of what happens at the end when you found out about what happens to Sadie's family is the real kind of like kicker because you know at the start that she lost her husband and that she's all alone and you think she never had any kids at all to begin with. And so when this relationship is forming between Sadie and Jane, in my mind, my type of mind thinking like, why don't you just tell her about the money? But I can understand why she didn't. Uh, I I got one more thought about this movie too, but I'll let that slide for a little bit later on. But he, knowing that Sadie probably did just give the money to her as a form of her own like kindness, maybe was really kind of a sweet thing. Um, yeah, I will say I do think, and don't hate me for this, Jaylan, but I think the movie can be a little bit too long. I think this would have worked better as a little bit of a short film. And maybe it was a short that got expanded, but
Okay, I'll tell you.
it
Remember when we were talking about Emily, and I told you that
yeah.
I don't like Emily as I used to before, and I stated my reasons. I don't know this film for me because it was, yes, it was empathy and kindness, but it wasn't flashy. It wasn't romantic. People were fucked. Those people were fucked. Jane was, and Sadie was. None of them was perfect. People were acting erratically, and they weren't acting in the best manner possible. So for me, it was like watching humanity. So I understand it can be a bit boring, or maybe it's stretched for too long. But for me, I don't know. Maybe the scene that should have been cut shorter probably was the sex scene in the porn, because yeah, Sean Baker, you probably like to ogle. But I enjoyed the rest of the movie. Honestly, for me, I could have had maybe the convention scene or the expo could have been shorter. But other than that, I just like watching humanity. I just like watching people walk, take strolls. I loved all the scenes when Jane was strolling with Starlet. Could have watched her
Yeah.
take Starlet for a walk for as long as she wanted, because I love the actress, and probably because I like the actress. I really like how she looks. I like her. So when you have a beautiful person on screen, you might watch them for longer doing nothing, maybe just taking a walk. So yeah, that was it for me.
Ah, and I understand why the movie needed to be paced the way that it builds the relationship even more, and maybe shorten things down. It would have felt that impact. Uh, but there were just some certain sequences that I felt could have been like trimmed down. Like I liked the people in their house. Like I like the character of Mikey, and I'm thinking, is that a sort of like a pin for like Mikey Saber in Red Rocket?
Maybe.
I felt
Maybe.
I kind of felt like he was like kind of like the same type of like person there, and I what was that? What was that guy's name? Who played him? That oh yeah, James Ranson, and I don't think I know him from anything else really, but yeah, he was good in that. Uh, the character of Melissa, she was also a very good actor. See, the only other actor I recognize from this is that Cara Gullion, who's been like a longtime collaborator of Sean Baker through Tangerine and Adora. He had a big part in Adora. You'll recognize him as the head of the family who's trying to
Exactly.
get the wedded and annulled. Um, and yeah, good in this one too. He plays the manager of her adult film career. Yeah, Stella Maeve. The weird thing too is that I know that Sean Baker likes to cast actors who don't really have a lot of acting experience there, and I know that the girl who played Sadie,
This was her first role. Can you believe
first
it? Oh my goodness.
that I was absolutely really surprised. Yeah, Besedka Johnson, and
Did she
it
die? I
sounds
think
like
she's dead. I don't
she
remember, but I think she died, right?
did
I
she
have a
die.
feeling.
Yep, she died on
Yeah.
April 4th, 2013.
Can you
So
believe
just
it?
like a year.
She had her dream come true and then she died. Oh my god.
Yeah, just after this movie, yeah, very sweet, but very natural. And I love the fact that Sean Baker takes these professionals and these new timers, and sometimes these newcomers feel like they are the professionals, and the
100%.
longtime actors, they're like the amateurs, and it's very different. It's a great way of like filmmaking because you it's just expect this girl to be around for like in the past, like she's like one of those like golden age actors from the time of cinema, and I found that to be a very cool thing. But sorry, I was going a long stretch there. I liked the movie, didn't necessarily love it, but I love the performances. I just felt like it should have been more like maybe a 45-minute short to show that these two characters are forming a connection, and then you find out that she's an adult film star. That doesn't make a difference because she's still this very sweet and generous person. She has this other conflict with her friend Melissa, and I guess Melissa's not feeling like she's being involved with stuff because it feels like Melissa and Jane were like these girls that have always like traveled together, and I feel like Melissa is riding on Jane's coattails, and Melissa wants to be the bigger star. Jane's the bigger star of their adult videos that they make. She is like the top one that gets hired and booked more. I feel like as I feel like Jane, even though she's having problems with money, is better with her money than Melissa is.
Of
Like
course.
Melissa gets her car impounded and she doesn't know how to save money and she doesn't work well with other people. That's why she's not being booked for other programs. And you can almost see how Jane could maybe go into those footsteps that Melissa did, and I'm glad she's not. She's her own sweet person. But it's the way that kind of Sean Baker shows different side facets of adult stars. I thought was actually really sweet because yeah, there probably are people in that industry who are very vapid and they're egotistical, but that happens a lot with like other film stars too.
100%. And it's not like we're promoting, okay, it's not like we're promoting adult film industry in any means, but at the same time also we're not villainizing the stars because they are not the problem. They are not evil. They are not people we
Yeah,
should look down on. They're just humans. These are their choices. And I wish people would just stop being judgmental for a change.
exactly. Yeah, that's it. And there could be that good bad of all sides right there.
Yeah.
People may see bad things about Sadie because Sadie, married a gambler and all the stuff that goes along with that, like manipulating people, or they may think that
Of
things are
course,
being
gambling is
manipulated
awful.
because she's worked with a
Yeah.
gambler. Hmm.
Yeah, gambling is
Yeah,
awful, but
there's that.
this movie is what I love about this movie is doesn't invite you to judge. Maybe it invites you to look around you and look at people through a
Yeah.
different lens. So this is what I love. I'm on the other, like, I'm kind of like a different. Whoa, whoa. Am I frozen?
No,
Oh my god! I thought you were telling me to like, hey.
no, no, no,
Okay.
no, no, no. I was agreeing with you on your point right there.
Yes. Okay. So I'm agreeing with you, agreeing with me. Okay. Because I feel like this. I love this movie. Why? Because I feel it's a movie that just promotes goodness in life, even though even we, can be really judgmental toward one another. Look at Twitter. Look at Blue Sky. Look at any social media platform where people are at each other's throats for all kinds of reasons. Watching a movie like that restores my faith in humanity. And I love movies that make me feel a little bit.
Yes.
And I want to feel. Maybe better than a movie that is really stylistically awesome, but it doesn't hit a chord inside me. So yeah.
You do make a really good point there because when I'm watching the movie, in my mind, I'm thinking about why don't you just tell her about the money? All right, you can get everything out in the open right away. Maybe sell the friendship more. But when that end scene comes up, because they're on their way to Paris and they want to stop at the gravesite as they normally do, and usually it's Sadie the one that goes to the gravesite and Jane just waits around for her. But in that scene, Sadie asks Jane, "Can you take the flowers to the grave?" And she sees both the graves for her husband and her daughter, and that just really just hit emotionally for me. Yeah, and this
Me
comes at the
too.
moment. This comes at the moment too, where Melissa basically rats out Jane and says, "Hey, my friends only hang out with you because of your money." and I'm expecting this big blowout between both Jade and Sadie, which they actually do have earlier because Sadie loses her dog,
Yeah, this is what
and
I'm telling you. She was suppressing her emotions, didn't want to feel. When she was so scared for losing that dog and she was scared about Jane and what Jane would think of her, she was like, "Okay, I was in this bubble of no feelings. I wasn't attached to anyone. I wasn't interacting with humans. What did I get myself into?" She didn't want to go through, because let's be honest, when you love someone, when you are close to someone, you will go through all the phases. You will fight, you will do something that disappoints the other person. You will have moments, like of clarity and of clashing and stuff like that. But when you're alone in your bubble, separated and isolated from people, you will not feel anything. And this is a safe place to be. It's a shell where you protect yourself from feeling. So this is what
yeah,
Sadie was doing before meeting this sweet, lovely, generous girl, Jane. So she didn't want to, because she loved the dog and she loved her and she was worried about the dog and she was worried about what Jane would think of her, letting her down, disappointing her. So when she got him finally, she was like, "Okay, I'm out. I can't get involved like that. I can't feel like that." And I love that so much because it makes so much sense for a character like Sadie.
yeah, very, very, very much so. But I guess that was my point about sort of like the piecing of the movie. I felt like the stuff that dealt with like stuff that happens with her adult career and like Melissa having to freak out at her manager's office, or the sequences where Mikey getting the a strip pull.
Yeah.
These are very funny moments in there. I just wish those moments were just trimmed down slightly, and then we get back to the story of Sadie and Jane. Uh, just a little bit there. I don't. I think it's fine. But I noticed, unlike other Sean Baker movies, I did notice that there were some moments I'm like kind of checking my phone of other things when scenes like that were going on. At least for me. But it's a very good movie. I think both that Dree Hemingway and Bria, oh my gosh,
This,
Besedka
yeah,
Johnson
best.
are absolutely phenomenal in this. And keep in mind too, I think this is like Sean Baker's like third film. This is the movie that he made right before he did Tangerine, and it's also a movie that I know that his other two films, The Prince of Broadway and Takeout. I have not seen The Prince of Broadway yet, but I've seen Takeout, and that seemed to be very like on the fly type of filmmaking. Like they're shooting Takeout during the streets of New York, using like real life locations, and I think Starlet only has like a few secure locations that they're using in there, and it feels more like a grounded story. Like if I take out the whole set scene that happens in this, I could probably show this to my parents. All right, I could show this at a community center, and we
You
have
were just like me. I wanted to show this movie to my mother, but I was thinking about, like, I always recommend films for her, and I think you recommended Society because you recommended it, or was it like Philip? Oh my god, I feel like someone recommended Society. I'm sure, but she's a big horror movie buff. I could have recommended this
yes,
movie, but then I remembered, oh my god, this sex scene, my mom would mortify my mother, so I didn't recommend it.
yeah, because I mean it gets pretty graphic in that
Yeah,
sex scene there too.
yeah,
So
not for our parents. We can't do this. We're good people. We can't do this to our parents.
but it's I think the way they do shoot the set sequences is that a lot of stuff is sort of like implied here. Like they do blur out certain parts there. You know exactly what's going on,
Yeah.
but they don't show like big clips and close ups of things. Like it's very toned down from what it actually adults
From
scenes
the
are.
actual like if we saw that actual film, we would see it completely, like if they had that porn film shot and given like an extra on the DVD or something, we would have seen an entirely different thing.
Yeah, I know. Shoot. I would if she was on there, I would have bought the DVD right away. But
No.
for artistic
Yeah,
merits, all
right,
right,
Vern.
all right, for
Busted.
research.
You're busted.
Oh.
Yeah.
But hey, I mean, it was also great too. After the scene, they had their, I guess, backstage, and they had like Manuel Ferrer and Asa Akira, who are real life adult stars, and they're just having just general conversations about really anything and how it's just very mundane. And I like the fact that there's a makeup lady there too, and it's almost like being at like a real life like shoot. All right, it just happens to be sex that they're shooting, and it's not much different than any other independent film company. They are just presenting a different type of entertainment to
An
be
entirely
shown.
different audience. Yes, definitely.
And I like the fact too of how like kind of dull and mundane that was. Even when she goes to like conventions too, and
Exactly. It
she's
shows
very
you
nice.
this is so mechanical. It's different from her being with Sadie, where she's her animated self. It could show you how, like this is performative for her, unlike her real self. Or when she's with Starlet, like you could see the interactions between her and her dog. Excellent. It's like her
Yeah.
baby.
Like she has, more love. Like the love story we have here is between Jane and Sadie. That's like the real
Yes.
love of this movie. And so for online to call this anything erotic, you are not watching the movie. You just saw what the movie was about.
And if you guys
And the
going
fact that
there
she's an
thinking
adult
it's
star.
erotic, you are in for a disappointment. It's not. Watch it if you want to
Yeah.
watch a movie about humanity. It's not an erotic movie.
You know, but yeah, I mean, I really don't have anything else to say. Is there a moment in this movie that really made you fall in love with this?
Yeah, when they go to the zoo, can you believe it? And they discover that the zoo is gone. Because
Yeah.
it was because I had a moment like that with someone I loved. I wanted to take them to a place in my hometown that I loved really much, and I haven't gone there for a while. And I took them there, and that place was gone. And it
Oh.
felt awful. Like, how what it felt like I was aging. Like I felt like, oh my god, am I getting old? How come I like things that are no longer there? So I feel like Sadie was faced with her mortality when she saw that the zoo is gone. Like, wow. And this is why, Jane was really lovely and kind and tried to make her feel better. So I love this scene. I really think this scene was just amazing. Really.
That's a great one. My favorite is when they are playing bingo. Now, Sadie has not won a bingo game in a while. And Jane asked her to come with her to Paris. And Sadie's like, I don't want to go. And Jane's like, well, if I win, this bingo game, you'll have to come with me. So Jane buys all these bingo cards, spends all her money right there to buy all these bingo cards, and she loses to Sadie. Sadie actually wins bingo. She hasn't won in a while, but she wins this time. And Jane's like, "Are you not coming to Paris with me?" And Sadie's like, I don't know. She actually does go, but they made that bet that if Sadie wins the bingo game, she will not have to go to Paris. And if Jane wins, she'll have to go. And I found it to be kind of a sweet moment where Sadie does want to go to Paris. She talks about it a lot. Uh, but she also, like you said before, she wants to feel, protective and stay in
That's
her home and
true.
everything too. And
Exactly.
trying to make any type of connections with a new person is very difficult. So,
Definitely. Yeah.
but let me ask you this, because Sadie never really finds out what Jane does for a living. I mean, there's that moment where she's in the car and Karen Julian's character as the manager comes out like, "Oh, this is your grandma. Nice to meet you. Very beautiful woman." Jane's like, "It's not my grandma." Do you think that if Sadie finds out what Jane does for a living, will they still be friends?
I hope so. Like, I hope she's not one of those conservative religious freaks I hope she's but she married the gambler. She's a hippie. She probably
Yeah.
doesn't have a religion. So of course she might have figured it out. Like in my mind, when you have someone close to you or a friend that hides something from you and you discover it, but you never tell them because you don't want to hurt them or you don't want them to feel something in front of you. I like to think that Sadie found out in some way and she never talks about it because this is life.
Yeah. That's true. Like she never talked about the money either. That was
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, very sweet. So I'd like to say that to finish up our conversation about Starlet, Sean Baker movie. Out of like 5 stars, I am going to give this one a good 3.5.
4.5.
I like I said before, really enjoyed the movie. I thought it gets really kind of slow in spaces. That ending did hit me on an emotional level right there, and I actually really did like that.
4.5 for me.
4.5, okay.
Yes.
Very cool. Well, love that very much. Thank you for joining us for this episode for our Sean Baker September series. We are gonna just take a small little break right now so I can play some ad spots, and then we'll be back to find out about more what's happening with Jaylan Salah of J-Days.
We got to take a short break, but Cinema Recall will be right back after these ad spots.
It's time to feel the rage. Join us on Film Rage, where we talk movies, current releases, coming attractions, streaming, and classic films as well. Directors and actors beware, as you cannot hide from the rage. My name is Bryce, and I'm part of the Film Rage crew, which also includes Jim.
Hey.
And Murray.
Yo. Why is it you always talk all the time? I can't understand why your voice is so...
This is the Merman, the voice of reason. These two can't agree on anything most of the time. Some movies are Mondo, some are just... Every week something is going to make us rage. Join us every Wednesday and...
Feel the rage.
Get access to episodes early, uncut video footage, and bonus shows by becoming a Patreon member. Go to patreon.com/Cinema Recall Pod, and for just $3 a month, you will help support our independent podcast. Thank you so much, and now back to the show.
And we're back. Cinema Recall Podcast. Thank you for staying to the end of that. Right now, I want to find about what's going on with you over at J-Days. What new stuff you have coming out?
I'm interviewing a lot of interesting people, but I have a lot of interviews coming out in November specifically. I'm collaborating with a lot of our great cinephile friends, and many of them will have cameos on the J-Days. I also have more interviews with other people from the industry coming up, so stay tuned. Also, I have upcoming reviews on In Session Film and Geek Vibes Nation, so again, stay tuned for that.
Well, very cool. And I'll post links and our show notes about where you can watch and read or listen to all of Jaylan's great episodes. So very cool. As for Cinema Recall, we are getting into our October month, and this month I am not going to be probably promoting as much episodes. Just to let you all know that I'm actually on a new podcast that just started last week. It's called DTI on Films. Woo-hoo. And it's a new podcast that I'm doing with 2 new co-hosts, and we're doing new episodes every week. And I'm also doing episodes of The Rotten Truth over at Rabbit Hole Podcast, where me and my good buddy Donnie talking about movies that have gotten low scores on Rotten Tomatoes. Plus, I want to take some time off in October to actually experience Halloween season. I want to go out to horror movies. I want to go out to like more haunted houses. And if I'm doing nothing but like recording episodes, I'm not doing much of that. Now, Ashley and I will be recording a Halloween episode for October, but you're going to have to wait towards the end of the month for that. Plus, I'm planning out a new audio drama project that I'm going to be having my buddy Jaylan here be a part of, as well as other cast members. Going to reunite the whole Reservoir Dogs team because this is a big, huge ensemble feature that I'm going to be doing. So stuff like that. But if you're a Patreon member, I promise you, patreon.com/cinemarecallpod, I'll be posting more episodes around for that. So just kind of keep your eyes on that channel right there. And what I'm going to do right now, because I do this almost every time I do an episode, I'm going to give a shout out to wonderful Patreon members. So no special order here. Jeanette Miller over at AKA Jeanette.
Yes,
on,
Jeanette.
Twitter. Jen McQuaid from Shocked and Applaud. Thank you very much, Jen. Jason Soto from Rabbit Hole Podcast. In fact, Jason will be our next guest talking about the film Red Rocket. So stay tuned for that for our Sean Baker September series. Christian Hurst, who is the writer of Lily Spellin and the Starlet Adventures. Oh my gosh, Chris! Oh, I forgot the name of your book. All right, I will post an image of that. Lily Starlin and the Starlet something, and I'm totally blanking on the name of that book right now. I'm an idiot. All right, so Steve W is another Patreon member. Steve, thank you very much. Appreciate you. Matt and Ashley from Ashley at the Movies. Donnie Roberts, who is my co-host for the Rotten Truth podcast. And finally, Linda Castro of Bed Knobs and Broomflits. Again, thank you very much for your kind contribution. Love you all very much and appreciate you all there. And also, if you are a Patreon member, I am going to be having another episode with Jaylan where she has her Deserted Island picks. So stay tuned for that. Anyways, I hope you all enjoy this episode of us talking about Starlet for our Sean Baker September series. Big shout out to you, Jaylan. Tell people where they can find you.
Okay, I'm on Twitter, X, whatever, Jaylan_Salah. On Instagram, I'm Jaylan Salman. On Blue Sky, I'm Jaylan Salah. On YouTube, my YouTube channel is The J Days.
Nice. All right. And as always, Cinema Recall, we're at cinemarecall.net. We're on YouTube. We're on all type of like internet places, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Blue Sky, all those places. Anyways, folks, I'll see you all later. Take care. Bye. All right.